a lot of my clients have back pain, and that this is something that we need to be careful of while we are challenging our exercise. Challenging is great, and we definitely need to progressively challenge our core and our body. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure your form is good, your strategies are right, and you're not risking your pelvic floor and your back. Happy Tuesday! Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. It's end of October here. We only have about 2 months left. Oh my gosh, really? 2 months left until the end of the year. Wow. It's crazy how much time has flown by. This year has been a really big leap for me in terms of career-wise, personally, and just everything. My parents being here now, so grateful. And yeah, it's getting colder. So much rain here in Toronto. We have over 6 months that are just really miserable here. And even though I lived in Toronto for the last 13-14 years, and I still don't like it here. If I have a choice, I would actually rather move to somewhere warmer, even if it's within Canada. Let's say Vancouver. I would still prefer that. I used to study in Vancouver when I was in high school. But yeah, here I am. But maybe in one day I'll be in somewhere tropical recording this episode for you. But yesterday, I don't know if you got my email. If you're not on my email list, you're missing out. Make sure you are subscribing to it so you get the free guide, free videos, and so much more tips in the emails. Yesterday, I emailed my TikTok kind of debuted. I've been using TikTok for the last 2 weeks now, and I've been a little bit more consistent. But yesterday, I sort of just posted my Diastasis Recti story while like kind of singing at the same time, lip singing, but yeah, I was singing in the background. But it's cool. If you have TikTok, it's a really fun platform. Flip it, and then you're gonna laugh yourself, and you're gonna forget whatever that is on your mind. Maybe you're not feeling too good about that day. You're gonna laugh it off with TikTok. But in this episode, it's not about that. But in this episode, I want to talk to you about the 3 stages of healing the diastasis recti. So the 3 stages are, of course, something that I observe over the last 5 years on my own journey, and also what I observed through my clients and what they have to go through. And this is how really my program is developed. I work with my clients very close up one-on-one. In the beginning, I take a look at what they need, and I keep refining and fine-tuning it and see what is most suitable for these clients. And that's how my programs evolved. And when I am filming my workout videos for my clients, I know exactly what they're going through, because not only did I went through this myself, but also I know different type of clients, different opening of diastasis, different alignments, all contributed to sort of different regimens in healing your diastasis. And that's why there's nothing like a cookie cutter thing. You need to have a specific approach and customizations in with the way you're healing, because everybody is a little bit different. You might have a C-section, she has a vaginal birth, but you have a tight pelvic floor, and she might not. She have normal or maybe a really weak and loose pelvic floor, vaginal birth, and maybe had a suctions, and maybe she has a 4 fingers diastasis and you only have 2, but you look the same. Why? Right? So it's very different, and it's really interesting for me to figure out, okay, exactly what is she needing to helping her with that upper DR. Okay, exactly what she needs in order for her to draw in that core, middle of the core, the belly button region. But I wanted to share with you the 3 stages of healing the diastasis. Now, the very first stage, and this is whether you have never done any exercises, whether you have done exercise and your DR is not healing, obviously something is not working, and maybe you are a brand new mom, first time mom. This is where you are going to start. This is where everyone is going to start, where whoever they are coming to my program, is mind to muscles connections. Now, you might have heard of this term multiple times on YouTube, on Pinterest, whatnot, mind to muscles connection. Like, what does that really mean, right? If you're just looking at the word mind to muscles, right? You're connecting with your mind to the right muscles to connect with them. Now, it's not as simple as what the word is saying. There's so many layers involved into this mind to muscles connection thing. And sometimes I talk about it in my Instagram post, and it's hard for me to explain so much things in that little post itself. But I wanted to elaborate on it here and explain more about what that really means in this initial stage that you're starting. If you're healing your DR, whether you're 6, 7, 10 years postpartum. This is where you're going to start if you have never worked on it before. Now, we will first look at whoever client comes to my program. I do an assessment with them, and we look at many things when I assess how, where they should be starting and what to focus on. The very first thing is I look at how they are inhaling. All right, so how are they inhaling, breathing? So breathing, we have inhale and exhale, but I'm looking at specifically how are you inhaling? Your chest inhaling, like your breath is all trapped in the chest area, your shoulders area, or are you just a belly breather? Or like you're breathing all into your belly, or maybe you're a paradoxical breather where you're sucking in your stomach, but at the same time you're hollowing your ribs area as you're inhaling. So this is really important for me to see how are you habitually deep inhaling, and when you have a good inhale, then you're able to have a good exhale. If you're not even able to have that good 360-degree inhale, and I'm not going to elaborate on that here because I did that on the other episode, or in my free guide. But if you are inhaling correctly, then you have that chicken and egg scenario. So you're able to exhale properly and actually efficiently work on your core. But if you're not inhale, let's say if you are a paradoxical breather, right? You are sucking in your stomach, you're hollowing that rib, so the ribs kind of like flared out, and you're hollowing in the upper abs region, and then your ribs sort of like puffed up. It's common when you practice a lot of vacuum inhaling, so this is very common. So that's called the paradoxical breather. And if you are inhaling this way, okay, you just try imagining it and do it with me if you are not doing too much. But inhaling that way, like think about sucking in your tummy, hollowing your upper abs area, and then like really puffed up your chest. Okay, now I'm telling you to exhale. Right, when you're exhaling, then you're like everything just kind of relax, you push your bellies out. So that's not the way you wanted to exhale, right? When you're exhaling, you're actually using your core, engage and flattening the stomach. So that's the next thing, right? How are you exhaling? So when you have that inhale, your body just sort of automatically wants you to relax everything and exhale, and rather than engaging your core and tighten and tense everything up. So then your exhale strategy is an optimum here, right? We need to make sure you have a good engagement strategy. Do you feel that you're actually engaging when you're exhaling? Or are you skipping the whole entire core area, which is very common, right? When you're exhaling, sometimes we might be thinking as we're exhaling, we are thinking of drawing in that belly button area, or like pull that belly button toward your spine. People say, I don't usually say that because that cue just doesn't work with a lot of people where you're pulling the belly button toward your spine. Like, I think after several different cues, if those doesn't work for you, then you can think about pulling the belly button toward your spine. But a lot of the time, whatever cues that you're using, and you just kind of skip that entire belly region, like that core area, you skip it. Like you imagining you're exhaling, you feel like maybe you're pulling your lower belly in or squeezing that hip bones in, and then all of a sudden nothing happens there, and everything you're pulling in is from the upper abdominal area as you're exhaling. So why is that skipping, right? What's going on there? Like, why is that belly region aren't pulling in? So this is called the mind to muscles connections. Your mind aren't connecting to the right core muscles, so that muscles aren't pulling in for you, right? We need to work on how to actually able to engage that core, what positions you should be in, and what kind of exercises to target that area in order for it to have it pull in as you're exhaling. So simple things like that, a lot of us are missing that key, and they go on and doing some dead bug or a lot just a lot harder core exercises when they can't even pull in that lower region area, when they can't even pull in that belly area, right? It pushes up, it puffed up instead of flattening from your upper to your lower belly area. And then another mind to muscles connections. So this is still a connection piece, but not so much in terms of the way you are breathing or engaging. It's more about how your ribs are. Are your ribs stuck? Are they moving? Are they mobile? Are your diaphragms stuck, right? Sometimes after pregnancy, it's just our body in that area, everything is just so squished out, and they are just stuck in that position for a really long time because that's how you've been carrying your baby when she was in your tummy, right? So we need to make sure your ribs are mobile, your diaphragms aren't stuck, they're actually moving around, and we need to work on strategies to help you with that. Now, also, do you have C-section? Did you have a cesarean birth? And are the muscles over that scar, are they moving? Are they gliding? Or are you too scared to touch that area? Are you too scared to massage that C-section scar? And I know a lot of people do, and I understand. I totally appreciate that fear, but we do want your C-section scar or area, that specific region, to move and glide, and because that is in your lower belly area. And if you're wondering why you don't have a lower DR, it's one of the things is called probably because you had a C-section and the surgeon sort of kind of stitched it together after you gave birth, but also because of the C-section scar, and those muscles are so tight and tense together, and even if you're trying to engage your core, the muscles are just so tight already. You can't really make it too tight anymore because there's just no room for you to go. So we need to make sure those C-section scars are moving, gliding, and they are freely happy, just like any other skins on your core. Or like, just think about like your palm, right? Like the muscles on your palm. If you're gliding that, like they should be feeling like very, like it would just glide, like it's not like stuck together, like where it's hardened and feels like there is like a scar, right? And then now this is a big one here, the next one for mind to muscles connections. Do you have a tight and weak pelvic floor? Now, do you have a loose or weak pelvic floor? And both can cause leaking. Did you know that? Both can cause leaking, whether you have a tight or a loose pelvic floor, but they are completely different issues, and we need to address it differently in order to heal your diastasis, because we can't just ignore that pelvic floor muscles to heal your DR. We need to work from the bottom up. Making sure your pelvic floors are healthy in order to heal your DR. And I'm not gonna just like, hey, here's your diastasis exercises and forget about your leaking. No, that's not how it works. And if that's how other people, then I'm sorry about that. But you need to make sure that your pelvic floors are healthy. And I talked about this in my last episodes about pelvic floor. Is it normal to leak while you are exercising? So it's not normal, okay? If you haven't listened to that episode, please listen to it, and I'm sure you will find some goodies in that episode. And really wanted to emphasize, it's not normal to leak while walking, while running, while doing your chores, whatever scenarios. Now, if you are sneezing and you have a full bladder and you leak a little bit, it's actually very, very, very common. I won't be too concerned about that. But if you are like leaking while running, leaking while exercising, and you have a hard time holding your pee before making your way to the bathroom, like those are the signs that you need to pay attention to, and it's not something that we should bypass it or like thinking that is normal. Okay, all right. And then the last thing for the mind to muscles connection, and this is actually overlapping to your second stage and third stage of healing your diastasis, and that's your posture. Do you have forward head posture? Do you have a big anterior pelvic tilt? So that's a big word, anterior pelvic tilt. What does that mean? So meaning that you have like a S curve on your back, like you're arching your back, your butts are sticking out, and your arch on your back, lower back especially, it's very lower to mid back is very, very curvy, like on a C shape. And then also, like, do you have forward head posture? Like, is your alignment from your ear to toes are like kind of like not on a straight line, not on a vertical line, but on an angle? And then your form, how you're exercising during exercise. So this is overlapping the second and third stage. So, but those are really important things, mind to muscles connections, like connecting your posture, connecting your alignment throughout the day, and that takes some mindfulness in order to do that. Now, the second stage of healing your diastasis is incorporating some cardios and some weightlifting or strength training exercises into your program. Movement exercises that emphasize on combo and progressive training. In another word, we can't just forever and do breathing, and like that's what a lot of people teach, right, on YouTube. Breathing exercises, leg slide, toe tap, or maybe bring a hand into the air, do a leg sort of slide and lift kind of exercises, or like maybe side lying, I don't know, ball squeeze. It's important that you have some of those exercises. However, if you continue to do that for like 2-3 months, you're either going to be bored the heck out of you, because they are very boring exercises, no doubt about that. All you do is on the ground and like you breathe. You will get bored very easily, and you will probably wonder, okay, is this going to work or not? Now, it's hard for you to see that and hard for you to understand sometimes. And I made that mistake of kind of like skipping, but I didn't know, okay? If I knew, I don't know, maybe I still wouldn't do that, but I didn't know that those exercises are important for you. But however, you need to do them right, like I was saying, mind to muscles connections. However, you will get very bored, and I know that, I can see that pattern in my clients where they don't want it to just lie on the floor and do exercise like that, and they will give up. They will just sort of like get over, sort of like their minds will play a trick with them, like, okay, this seems too easy to be true, right? They will lose that momentum, and I get that totally. So at some points of those exercises, they will either even become too easy for you, or you just aren't getting it. And some people will not get it in the first couple of weeks. They might not even get it in the first couple of months. But you need to continuously to work on that foundations, but we need to start incorporating a variety of weights and cardio exercises into it to heal your diastasis. And what's important here is that continuing your foundation from your first stage, right? How you inhale, exhale, your ribs, your C-sections, working on your pelvic floor, your posture. But now we need to make sure your form while you're exercising, while you're doing squat, lunges, while you're weightlifting exercises, while you're doing all kinds of cardio, they are correct. Your form is correct. It's where it's suitable for you. If you have weight to lose, or if you don't have weight to lose, they could be quite different for you in terms of how the programs go for you. Your form is one big key thing when it comes to healing a DR. So we need to make sure that your form is good, so that you're exhaling and inhaling with efficiency, right? You don't want to just do an exercise just to do it, right? I always focus on quality over quantity. If you can't do as many reps as I can, then do it at your own pace and do what feels good for you. Do what feels great for you based on how your body is giving you the feedback, right? I can't really be going into your body and tell you like how to do it, or like you have to feel it for yourself, and it's your body. I'm sure you know more than anybody else. So in this stage, in the second stage, you're also challenging your core muscles at the same time, but you're not over challenging it that you start to dome, right? Doming on the belly and bulging on the belly. So doming is where you see a vertical bulge in the linea alba. So the linea alba is the fascia sheet that hold your left to right core muscles. Those are the six-pack muscles. Maybe you don't see it, and probably you don't see it because you have DR. But that's the sheet that holds the muscles, and that's where you feel the gap. Now, if you see it dome, meaning like it pushes out, you will feel it, and that's doming, right? That's too much pressure. It's like the core the exercise are too challenging for you, or maybe you're not engaging it correctly, and then you will see you bulging. So bulging is the entire core, whether it's the belly button region. Normally I would see in the belly button region or the lower belly region, where it just pushes out, like the entire core just puffed up. And so that's called bulging, and that's also meaning how the exercise might be too challenging for you, or maybe you were just not being mindful of how you are inhaling and exhaling, engaging your core. Or finally, maybe you have, while you're exercising, while you're challenging yourself, you feel heavy pressure on your pelvic floor, and that is called bearing down. So you're pushing a lot of pressure by, let's say, maybe you are trying to lift a 10-pound weight, and just like it's just too much for you to handle, and all your upper abs are doing are like pushing that pressure downward into your pelvic floor, instead of the other way, the other direction, where it should be zipping from the bottom up, like you're zipping a skinny jean. So that's too much pressure, and we don't want that, right? So we don't want you to leak, we don't want you to have prolapse, and also we don't want to risk your back from having more back pain. And I know that a lot of my clients have back pain, and that this is something that we need to be careful of while we are challenging our exercise. Challenging is great, and we definitely need to progressively challenge our core and our body. But at the same time, we wanted to make sure your form is good, your strategies are right, and you're not risking your pelvic floor and your back. Now that's the second stage. The final stage here, the third stage, is strengthening and intensify the workout with the emphasis on weight training techniques, weight training exercises, lifting heavier dumbbells. So my program is an at-home workout. You're not gonna go to the gym and lift like heavy dumbbells, but you will need to have a set of mediums and heavy sets of dumbbells. Like dumbbells, I usually just tell them to use water bottles, and that's fine too. But this is where you're gonna get the great body compositions. You're gonna look more defined, you're gonna look more toned, and you will continuously to apply this first stage principle and the second stage of the combo and progressive training into the third stage. But with the third stage is where you're going to strengthen and intensify that workout with the emphasis of lifting more weight, heavier weight. And this is, you are going to see that we all want to look good in our clothes, in the way we look in our dress, how you're looking in your tank top, right? You will need to lift weight. You can't just do it by doing those exercises on the floor. They're just not enough for you to get that look, right? We all wanted to feel confidence, and the confidence usually comes from the appearance, which is normal. It came from the outside, and when you are looking good from the outside, you are going to feel good in the inside, and you want to continue moving, you want to continue going forward. Now with this stage is that you wanted to focusing on the techniques that you had, but also at the same time, right, the form is important for you. But really look at your body and give that judgment to yourself. Like, is it too easy for your core? Are you a little bit too afraid or too scared to push yourself further, to do more intensified workouts? Let's say a crunch, a sit-up even, right? Or double leg lift, a double leg toe tap, right? Those are really hard on our core, and our form is definitely going to be challenged. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. Have you tried doing it, right? Have you tried? So this is something that you are going to face your fear, and a lot of us has fear around diastasis that it could make it worse. But if you're in your third stage, don't be scared. You have a really strong foundations. You have really good knowledge and around how the way you work out. On the third stage, and I would still consider myself in the third stage, I would just continuously to intensify that core workout and like just challenge it. If it's doming, okay, can I make it less dome? Right? If it's just like a really soft, like loose skin kind of dome, I get it, right? It's okay. It's okay. Don't be scared. Push yourself to your limits. You never know what your body can do it. Like you need to continuously make the exercises more challenging and be fearless about it. Now, I have a final and bonus stage for you for healing your diastasis, and this is applicable to all three stages, which is, can you guess what it is? Nutritions. Oh my goodness, how important nutrition is. Whether you have weight to lose, and especially if you have weight to lose, you're gonna have belly fats, you're gonna have abdominal fats. I'm gonna just be very blunt with you. You need to lose weight. If you wanted to heal DR, don't blame the DR as making you having that belly. It's your fat, it's your extra weight, right? It's your extra weight that is causing the belly bulge. And of course, along with the DR, but your nutrition, you need to be on point to lose the weight, to lose the abdominal fat, so that your belly can come down with you. Even if you heal your DR, or like, let's say improve it from 4 fingers to 2 fingers, but you're still overweight, you're not going to see that physical changes. I see that in all my clients, right? You need to lose weight, and nutrition is 70% accountable for that. And not only that, even if you don't have weight to lose, you will need to focus on nutrition. Why? Because of bloating, and because of we wanted to build muscles in your body, right? Your body loses a lot of muscles in that core. We need to be able to regenerate collagens and regenerate that muscle tone in that connective tissue. So nutrition is very, very, very important. I cannot emphasize how important this is. And whether you have weight to lose or anything, with weight, you just have an extra bounty points for you to really work on dialing on your nutritions. And I have a very specific way of getting my clients to help them reduce the bloat. And that is something we tend to have more postnatally. So that's all I have for you for this episode today. I hope that you find something helpful here and that you can start incorporating it. And if you are thinking of what to do, if you just found out that you have diastasis recti, perhaps you wanted to work on it now rather than later. You don't want to do surgery, or you don't want it to go around a big circle just not seeing any result. Maybe it's time for you to work with me. And the best way for you to reach to me is through my Instagram direct message. So just at BeckyChoi_. I'm always on there checking messages. So if you can just say hello to me, or just say I want more info, just DM message me there on Instagram. Now, if you don't have Instagram, Facebook, or email, probably the next best way to go. But if you can, just make a ghost IG account. You don't have to follow anybody, right? But just so that you can communicate with me, but also really look at all the posts that I made on my account. So then it's gonna be very beneficial for you healing your diastasis and gets you some inspirations and motivations. I know we all need a little bit of that from time to time. So thank you so much for tuning in into this episode. I hope you enjoy it. And if you enjoy it, please share it with your mom's friend and maybe mama who are closer to delivery, so that they know how to recover their body properly. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you next time. Bye bye.